trying to make me cry in front of everybody, man?
Yeah, that's the point.
One word of advice. Buying TV, don't spend it on Hooker.
Super Russ. I'm the last character on my Justice League team with these 4 babes. What's up, guys? We're here this week with comic book memories, not to be confused with Gray Man's comic memories, which I did put in a link in the playlist. It's the first link in the description, followed by SimpleSimon's channel. Get him to 900, and all the other links, the channel merch, all that good stuff is down there too.
Is Slab City back?
Yeah. Yep.
You get your money?
Yeah. Finally got that commission, so I put them back on the back in the description.
How did you even how did they offer that to you? Like,
well, after I ordered those Carla Cohen comics from them, I posted a picture on Instagram and tagged them, and they just hit me up with a private message and asked if I wanted to be an affiliate. So,
yeah, because I tagged them as well, and like, I didn't get out, but I did obviously talk up your link too in my video. So, but they reposted my post on their thing. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. That was cool.
Yeah, interesting stuff. So, yeah, today is a total ripoff. We're out of ideas, so we're stealing from others. The Gray Man used to have a show called Comic Memories, and some of the people in the chat right now actually have been on there. So I want you to give a shout out to the few that have joined us today.
All right. We had Whack Comics in here first. What's going on, man? Puff Comics popped in. How's it going, brother? And we got Biggie Shack, New World Order Comics. What's up, Biggie?
All right, we're gonna get straight into it. Have you got any structure to this? Because I have a little bit, but not.
I have no structure and no plans. I'm just gonna do the usual wing it kind of thing.
I got you.
All right.
Let's go back to the beginning. What's up, Bearded?
Yo, Bearded.
A lot of people kind of remember, I find, their first comic book memory, I guess. Like a lot of people remember that first time that they picked up a comic and things like that, and I totally don't. I have no idea. I cannot remember that. But I got a feeling you do.
Yeah. Well, I was like 12 years old when I picked it up. It was Action Comics 688, right at the start of the Reign of Superman storyline.
Do you remember where it was and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. It was a little gas station not too far from where I lived at the time called Jerry's Market. Actually, not too long ago, or maybe a month ago now, I posted a picture of it on Instagram. The market is still there, but they changed the name of it. They obviously don't sell comics anymore, but it's kind of cool that the building is still there.
So we call it a servo, is what we would call a gas station.
Yeah.
What was it, like a spinner rack or something like that? Like what?
No, it was just like a magazine aisle. They had the normal magazines, and they had comics, stuff like that. It was just like a wall display rack.
Interesting. Yeah, because I literally don't remember the first time. I have very early memories of comic books. Like I remember the death of Superman. I'm being on the news, like it was all over the news, and it was saying like, people were flooding into comic shops and buying the death of Superman. And I can't remember if I had a comic or not yet, but I remember obviously when Batman obviously came into my life, and I started being interested in Batman. I think the Batman '89 movie, I definitely bought some comics around that time.
Yeah.
So like I remember I had like the year 3 story arc from Batman with Tim Drake and all that, and I didn't understand it because I watched the '66 Batman show. I watched the Batman '89 movie, and then I'm reading the comic books. Like I didn't understand why Nightwing was why Dick Grayson was Nightwing. It was so confusing to me.
Yeah. I started with the movies years before I got into the comics. The first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve, I think, came out a couple years before I was born, but I
Hmm.
didn't see it until I was 6 years old. So that's where I got to know the character of Superman. And it was another 6 years after that before I got into the comics. So I knew who Superman was. But when I picked up the comic, I didn't know anything about the death of Superman or any of that taking place. I didn't find out about that until I actually started reading the comic, and it's like, Superman died? What?
Oh, so you didn't even know about that? Because yeah, I remember it
No.
being such a big deal worldwide. Like it was on the news. Like
Yeah.
that
I
he
mean,
was.
I was 12. I didn't know what was going on. I was all my knowledge and like stuff just came from cartoons.
Well, you still had the memory. You still got the memory of
Yeah.
finding the comic book.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
I
When I
remember
found
Superman
out
movie.
when I found out Superman was dead, I was just like earth shattered. So I had to go back and try to find the comics to find out what happened.
Yeah, I still haven't read that to this day. I finally have it though.
Yeah.
The Death Man. My friend gave it to me recently. But yeah, I remember the Christopher Reeves Superman movies. I used to watch them with my brothers, and then I watched one of those at the cinemas. The one with the guy from The Sun. What was his name?
Oh God, the Nuclear Man one, the fourth one, the worst one.
I saw that at the cinemas. I thought it was cool at the time.
Yo, what's up, Metarod?
So Roger. And obviously the Batman 89 movie, like I remember having I've still got it, the Batman 89 movie adaptation.
Yeah.
So love that. But I'm pretty sure it was around that time from memory that I would have got some Batman comics because I was already watching the 66 show, the Adam West show, because that was on TV after school. Like you'd come home from school and it'd be on TV. And my dad even knew about that stuff. And then when the 89 Batman movie came out, I was like, holy crap, why is Batman so cool in this? So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when I would have like nagged because I started having I got like a Batman mug from back then still. I still got it. I had like this Batman denim jacket, Batman t-shirts and all that stuff. And that was all around the 89 Batman movie.
I was 9 years old when the Batman 89 movie came out. And I didn't get to see it in theaters, but I saw it at home like a year later or so. So I was probably closer to 10 when I saw it. And that was my very first introduction to Batman as a character. I hadn't seen the 66 series yet.
Oh, man.
And then I went from the 89 Batman movie to the animated series, which came out not too long after that. I think 92 is when the animated series started. And the animated series is what got me into the Batman comics.
It's so weird, man, because the Batman animated series really just played no part in my life.
Really?
I think I remember it.
It was so
I remember
good.
it being on, like, again, in that same time slot, like after school. But I remember it later on when I was a little bit older and I kind of gotten over all that stuff. But like, I remember the 66, the Adam West movie. Like, that movie is so good. And they'll never do another superhero movie like that because I always tell people when you watch all these movies now, they always choose a villain. That's the villain for this movie. Yeah. And then they'll have another villain for the sequel and so on. But that movie was like a movie event. So they brought all the villains into that movie. And I just thought that was such a big deal, back then.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen the 66 movie, but I've seen a lot of the series now. I went back and watched a lot of the series when I got older.
So you haven't seen the scene where Batman has to dispose of the bomb?
I've seen like all the memes and like YouTube clips of it, but I've never seen the actual 66 movie as a whole.
It is too good, man. It's great. Yeah, I bought the box set of the original series on Blu-ray not that long ago, so I do want to do I've got all the animated series too now, but I haven't. I sat down like maybe a year ago and watched the first few episodes, but I just don't find time to sit there and binge watch something. And people are like, "Why don't you just put it on while you're doing stuff, like in the background?" But again, it's like I'm not concentrating on it.
Metarog with no love for Batman.
What is wrong with him? Is there anyone else? Surely there's other people who don't care for Batman.
I don't know. I mean, we got Bearded in here. He's a huge Batman fan.
All about Batman.
He's got some awesome, like an awesome setup behind him with like all kind of classic Batman figures and stuff. Super cool.
I'm trying to get Bearded onto the next collectible show and tell, which I'm going to hit him up about. I might do one this weekend.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, I tried to get him on the last one, but he was busy. So
yeah.
So yeah, just back to like buying comic books. Back in the day, what do you guys have? We would call them. Hey, look who it is! It's the creator of Comic Memories.
Yo, Gray Man.
Do you guys
can't sue us, man. We put your playlist in the description.
Yeah, this is an homage to you, Gray Man. You guys have newsstands, right? I mean, is that?
Well, I mean, we didn't really have anything like that in my town, but that like existed back then.
Because we had what's called a news agent. So it's just a shop that sells like newspapers and magazines and stuff like that. And that's where I would get most of my comics back in the day.
Yeah. I don't, gosh, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I had an actual comic book store around until I was probably in my 20s. When we finally got a comic book store near us where we lived at the time.
Yeah.
So for the first like years of my collecting, I was just stop in at that gas station and like spend my lunch money on comic books.
Yeah, we had them here, but it was hard to get to. Like it was in the city mostly. So I was a kid then, obviously, and by the time you get to the city, you don't have any money to spend on comic books. I remember going to the shop once with a friend, and his friend was like rich. So his parents would just go send him to his friend's house and give him like $100 or something, which back then was a lot of money. So I remember being in the comic shop with him, and I was looking at this Batman. Again, I've still got this Batman comic. It was like an embossed cover, and I was looking at it like, oh, how cool is this? And I showed him, and he goes, "Do you want it?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'll buy it for you." Like we're like, I don't know. How old were we? 11, maybe. And he's like, "I'll buy it for you." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." And he bought it. He bought me this comic book. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, everything else was pretty much like I guess pocket money that my parents would give me, and then I'd go down to the newsagent to buy my comics.
That's cool, man.
A lot of X-Men back then, because I used to love the animated X-Men show. But when I bought the comics, I wasn't that into reading the X-Men comics for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I had a lot of them, but I don't know. It was not quite like the animated show.
Yeah. I'm probably the most biased toward that era, the 90s X-Men. To me, they could do no wrong back in the 90s with the X-Men, especially when Jim Lee was doing the art.
What's Medrog saying? He used to get a lot of comics from newsstand outside. Yeah, but see, what is a newsstand? Is that like an outdoor sort of one? Like I'm picturing a newsstand, and it's like the outdoor, like sitting on a sidewalk kind of stall. Is that what it is?
That would be like my best guess, I guess. I picture like the old like Ninja Turtles movie where they took the paper from the newsstand sitting out on the sidewalk.
Yeah, so a newsagent is kind of like that as a shop. Like we have newsstands in the city, but you wouldn't just see a newsstand randomly in a suburb or anything like that. But yeah, I guess a lot of the comics I used to collect were more things I knew about as well. Like, so, I was into The Simpsons, so I would buy the Simpsons comic book. Sonic the Hedgehog was my absolute favorite. Like that was, it's weird because I don't know why I love Sonic the Hedgehog so much, but his comic book series was on Archie was my favorite, like back then for sure. Someone knows X-Men. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I was reading X-Men during the Age of Apocalypse, and yeah, it was just weird. I don't know.
I love that whole run, the Age of Apocalypse, Onslaught before that. That was like the Onslaught storyline is right about the time I got into X-Men comics. I think that was around 90, 96, I want to say, maybe 97. Because for the first like year or so I collected, I was just all about Superman. Then I started slowly getting into Batman. Then I started going over to Marvel with Spider-Man, X-Men, stuff like that.
I did read, so yeah, I always remembered my first Spider-Man book, which you have, and I want to buy it one day because I know it's not an expensive book, but that ASM 400.
Oh yeah, with the gravestone cover.
Yeah, so that book I picked up off the shelf in the newsagent, and I remember reading that and just being like, holy crap, I just thought the story and everything was so good. And then I think that kind of led into the whole clone saga.
Yeah.
And I was all about that. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
I
funny
love
now.
that too, man. That was just,
yeah, I loved it, right? So it's
good.
funny now going, like, obviously I don't remember anything of it really, but now that I'm into comics again and people go back and talk about the clone saga and they talk about how it was trash.
I know. I like it was awesome, man. What do you mean it was trash? I love that series.
It was so good. I didn't get to the end. So again, like all the things, a lot of my memories are kind of just guesses. So I always wondered why I stopped getting into comics. I definitely got old and I definitely got too cool for school in some ways. But I think for comic books, because I always loved art. So I had a lot of friends who still love comic books and I always respected it because I always loved art. But I got a feeling that the newsagents stopped stocking comic books and that was it. I was like, well, I can't buy comics. I feel like I have a memory of going in there one day to buy the latest issue of Sonic the Hedgehog or something. And they're just like, we don't sell that crap anymore. Get out of here, kid.
Oh, man.
Yeah, ASM 400. Yeah, Maximum. I remember that the acetate cover, and it had like all the Spider-Man on it.
Yeah. Maximum Carnage is another one that gets a lot of hate, but I love that storyline so much. I'm currently, I'm trying to get I'm close to getting that series put back together now. And when I do finally get it put back together, I'm going to read the whole thing and try to get Medrog on a stream to talk about it.
Well, yeah, I do want to get ASM 400 again so I can actually read it again because I just remember being blown away by the story when I was like, however old I was back then. But yeah, Ben Wright, like I loved Scarlet Spider. I had his first appearance back then. And I remember
it. I had that too, man. It kills me. I don't have it anymore.
I remember it so well because for school we did graphics, right? And we're doing this thing where you had to draw, you had to copy something, and it was like what you had to do was you have the image you want to copy, and you draw like a grid over it.
Yeah.
And then you enlarge that grid on a piece of paper, and then you draw the same image, like, blown up 10 times. So I drew that first Scarlet Spider, like where he's got in that pose, and I drew this awesome Scarlet Spider picture for my graphics class. I kind of cheated though, because the night before it was due, I was like, I haven't even colored this in. So I got my dad to color it in because my dad's actually a pretty good artist.
Yeah.
My dad colored it in and it looked amazing. But yeah, that's a book I'll never. So again, like I remember, I have this weird memory of my mum asking me if she could give my comic books away to her friend's kid. And this is when I was obviously a bit older, and I was kind of like, I don't want to, but at the same time in my head, I was like, well, I'm not doing anything with them, sort of thing. So I guess so. And that's where all my good stuff went. So I still have a very small stash that somehow, survived. It didn't get given away, but all my good stuff hurts my feelings every time.
You gotta track down who she gave it to, man, and pay him a visit.
Yeah, he's probably loaded now after selling all my books. So back with the Reign of the Supermen and stuff like that. See, it's weird because it's so long ago, man. It's so hard to remember, but I remember how all the different Supermen came out, and Steel was my favorite, like by far. It was my favorite. Yeah, because that was when basketball was hot. So He was like the Michael Jordan Superman. Because you like what was the Superman you liked the most?
I liked Eradicator.
Yeah, Eradicator, that's right.
I thought, like, originally I thought it was the original, but the way they went to the storyline, it wasn't. Because I figured he was the one that looked most likely to be the real deal.
Was there a Superboy that was part of it as well?
Yeah.
Was it Superboy with the leather jacket and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is that the one? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He was actually a clone. So he had a few different powers. He had telekinesis, I think. And he could control like certain machinery or something, make it like fall apart. And I think he was vulnerable to fire, if I remember right.
He was vulnerable to fire.
Yeah.
That's odd. Who was the least used to the four?
Yeah.
Have you watched the Death of Superman animated movie?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, because I tried to watch it,
but I haven't watched it.
I don't know. Like, are the Justice League in Death of Superman?
Yeah, the Justice League. They play a part in the storyline. It crosses over. I think with all in all, it crosses over with 3 issues of Justice League when he's fighting Doomsday.
Because the animated movie had a lot of the Justice League in it, and I just was like, "Is this actually following the comics?" I don't know, because I don't know the comic story. So,
yeah, I think it was issue 69, 70, and 71 was the 3 issues where it crossed over.
Oh yeah, one of the big things that blew my mind as a kid, right, was because Death of the Family, yeah. So, because again, I've still got the trade from when I was a kid, and I'll always remember it like throughout my whole life. This never left my memory. Was when Superman showed up in Death of the Family, because I think back then I didn't know DC. You know, I was just like,
Yeah.
Sean, what's up? I was like, how is Superman in a Batman book? Like, that blew my mind so much as a kid. So I always remember the part where he shows up and then Batman punches him and hurts his hand, and I was like, oh wow, of course he'd hurt his hand.
Yeah. What's up, White Tiger? White Tiger, Cool Comic Collected, and Sean. I can't pronounce the last name. Okay,
that's my buddy Sean.
But yeah, I really wish they would do a big screen like movie based on the death of Superman. They could make it a whole trilogy. They could do the death of Superman in one film, have the funeral in the second film, and have the reign of Superman in the third film, leading up to the return. That would make an awesome trilogy.
Were they trying to do a Death of Superman for Justice League though?
Like, no, that's why I think they just DC. I don't think had a plan. They just tried to cram everything into one movie,
because it did get
none of it made sense. I wish they would just have a real like big screen trilogy with the death, the funeral, and the return of Superman. That would be amazing to see if they followed the comics.
Shaq did that movie Steel. Was that related? I don't know. I never watched it. Was that related?
I saw that back in the 90s. It was so bad.
Was that related?
But yeah, he was supposed to be John Henry Irons. Still,
really? I should go back and watch it.
Yeah, it was so bad. I mean, it was a fun movie, but it was just like along the lines of so corny. It's just fun.
Shaq back then was the perfect casting though for Steel.
Yeah, if he could act.
Yeah, I don't remember his acting. So I remember seeing Blue Chips that he was in.
It was a fun movie, man. It's worth a watch.
Steel had to make a jump shot. Really? Did he have to dunk as well? He could fly from one side of the court to the other.
It's been so long since I saw it. I don't even remember if they actually mentioned Superman in the movie at all or not.
Oh, really? Sean just rewatched it, mate. He said it's not that bad.
Oh,
you,
yeah?
you guys are trashing it. So what other stuff, man, did you read back in the day besides Superman? And was there any? Because you got into Spawn, didn't you?
Yeah, I was into Spawn. That was like the Spawn and Gen 13 were like. Well, I read a little bit of Witchblade 2 and Darkness. Now that I think about it, but those were like the 4 titles I was into besides Marvel and DC.
Yeah. So tell me about back then. Were those books as readily available as all the DC and Marvel stuff? Because I learned about Image and all that when I got back into comics. Like I watched this really cool documentary about Image Comics and stuff.
From what I remember, they were pretty easy to get back then because I had the first 20 so issues of Spawn, and I had like maybe 10 or 15 issues of Gen 13 and Witchblade, and a few issues of Darkness. I don't remember it being hard to get back then.
I've got to read Darkness. Actually, I've had the trade for like forever now, and I still haven't read it.
I don't remember too much about that was like the one I had the least amount of as far as indie books goes. I just got a few issues because I think he crossed over with Witchblade a few times.
Yes. There was a Darkness video game. I remember the video game, but I had no idea that it was based on a comic book.
Really? I don't remember the video. I remember another title, Danger Girl. They actually made a PlayStation 1 game with that.
I don't remember the game, but yes, I know the book.
I only had maybe just 2 or 3 issues of Danger Girl, and I had the PS1 game. That was like little young me just trying to see boobies. Not gonna lie.
Let me look at the Danger Girl video game.
It was on PlayStation 1.
There you go. That was you. Why did you just play Tomb Raider?
I did. I had Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 1.
Oh, look at these graphics.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't hold up today graphically.
It's funny to think like when the PlayStation 1 came out, it was such a big jump. I feel like. Yeah. So it was like, whoa, the graphics, oh, look at that. That is about as action-packed as a game can get. Look at that shot there. Diving across ways. That is sick.
It's making me want to like try to play that game again.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I remember the Witchblade TV show.
Yeah, there was too. I remember it would play late at night, but back then I had no idea that what Witchblade was.
Yeah.
Darkness.
I don't think it lasted. I don't know if it got more than 1 season or not. I don't remember.
There's a lot of bad TV shows. Like, did you ever see the Birds of Prey TV show?
Oh God, yeah, that was terrible. I saw maybe 1 episode, and I never watched another one back when it was
on. Yeah, this Darkness game doesn't even look like it's that old.
Really?
Yeah, like the graphics look way better than Danger Girl.
Maybe it was PS2 or something, or I don't know, maybe PS3.
It's pretty good.
It doesn't look bad.
There was a Blade TV series. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know they did a Blade TV show.
I never saw it, but there used to be a DVD store here. So funny thinking about that now. But it mostly had like imported stuff, so had a lot of stuff from the US that we couldn't get down here. And yeah, there were a lot of shows that I was like, whoa, this is a show. Yeah, there's a Blade TV series, but the Birds of Prey one, I caught that one night, and I was like, what is this? What is this?
Was the Blade show any good at all?
I never saw it. I just saw the DVD and thinking, oh man, that looks pretty cool, but I'm sure it was crap. There was the Mortal Kombat TV series. Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah, I watched that back in the day.
That was actually pretty good, I think, from memory.
Yeah, I liked it. I think it ended on a cliffhanger though, and they didn't come back for another season.
Because the main character was like Kung Lao or something.
Yeah,
It wasn't Liu Kang or anything like that.
Yep.
I had all the Mortal Kombat comics. I used to collect the Mortal Kombat comics when they were on Malibu, and again, I've still got the first issue of that. That was one of the few that survived.
those are those I think are kind of pricey now.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I could be wrong, but
Mine's in.
I love the games, but I never got into the Mortal Kombat comics.
What are the movies? How good were the movies? Well,
The Mortal Kombat movie, the first one was pretty good. The second one was cheesy, pretty bad. I haven't watched the new Mortal Kombat movie though.
Oh yeah, either have I actually. I got mixed reviews. Some people loved it, and then some people like it was absolute. Like I think Mark hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
Take it easy, Puff.
See you, mate. Trying to find this. That's the one thing I said to myself that I never want to go and try to rebuy any of my old books because I feel like that's just going to start a thing, and I already have.
Yeah. That's the first thing I did when I got back into collecting comics. Because I quit collecting because I had to sell them off and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I got back in, first thing I did was start getting like all of them back. And I've pretty well got like all the ones that are still affordable.
What were I know some of them, but just for the people who don't, what were some of the books that you had? Because you obviously, I know you had to sell your collection a while back, yeah?
Yeah, back in 2000.
What were some of the books that you had that hurt your feelings to this day?
Oh man, the biggest one was Giant Size X-Men 1. That's a book I'll never be able to get back. And back then, you know, young, I didn't know anything about keys. I was just trying to be able to like not have my power turned off. So I had to sell them to pay some bills. So that's definitely the biggest one. And I had the first War Machine, which I don't think is too expensive. I think that would be pretty easy to get back. I just haven't gone after it yet. But that big one that's just unobtainable now is Giant Size X-Men 1.
Whose first appearance is it? Because that's a lot of first appearances, yeah?
Oh man, yeah, it's Storm, Colossus, I think it's Wolverine's second appearance.
Really?
Yeah. And a few other X-Men. I can't remember now right offhand, but the biggest ones was probably, it might have been Nightcrawler's too. I can't remember if it was Nightcrawler's first appearance in there.
Yeah, I didn't have anything as crazy as that.
Yeah. But I didn't even know what it was back then. And back then it was still worth like, I think I looked it up one time in an old Wizard magazine. And I think it was still like $300 back then.
What'd you sell it for?
I sold it in an X-Men lot for $35. Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, matter. Nightcrawler, Thunderbird. That was the other one I couldn't think of.
Hey, Brian.
Iron Man 282. I think that was, I can't remember the issue number, but that was probably it. War Machine was on the cover and they had Iron Man crossed out with War Machine on the title.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
What's that? What's the significance of that book?
It's the first appearance of the War Machine armor, I think.
Okay.
or Rhodey as War Machine or something. But Rhodey's actual first appearance was earlier, but that was the first time he was War Machine.
Yeah.
That one, like I said, though, I think that's still probably pretty reasonable.
Man, $35 in a lot, dude. So what else? What did you sell everything else for? Like, was everything else just like $2-3 here and there?
The only thing I ended up keeping was I had my Superman books in one long box, and that was the only books I kept. The other boxes, X-Men, Batman, Spider-Man, all that stuff I just had to sell.
And
I
all
think
that
I might have got $150 for the entire collection, but it paid the bills for a few months.
Jesus. Yeah, well, I need to start selling books, mate, because literally I can't even move anymore without bumping the book. I've got at least three boxes of comics just literally in this room, just in stacks.
Really?
Just waiting for a
So
box.
I can't even bring myself to sell books now, like, because that hurt me like so bad emotionally. I didn't even collect for like 15 years after that happened.
That's why I buy doubles, mate.
Yeah.
If I sell one, I still have one.
So I can't, even if I got in another real bad financial situation, it would give me so much anxiety if I had to sell comics.
Yeah, I remember going when I think it was when I was between jobs and I didn't have a job for a little while. I started selling my DVD collection because I had quite an epic DVD collection. And in the start, it was fun because I had so many DVDs. I had a lot of movies I didn't care about, or I just had because I had them. So it's fine. I was selling DVDs and making, a few bucks here and there. And then I got to the point where I started selling stuff that I really liked, like my Conan box set and my Blade box set and things like that. I was like, oh no, why am I selling these? I like these.
What's up, Brian?
So, mate. Oh, mate. So, yeah, look, put it this way. Like I said, I said to someone recently, like, if I eventually will sell my books, like some anyway. I got too many. And I was like, even if I sell them back at what I paid for them and don't make any money, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to try to make at least something, right? It's just like savings there for me, right?
Yeah.
I got a whole room dedicated to my savings. It's like my Scrooge McDuck room. But yeah, I definitely plan eventually. It's one of those things where I'm kind of just waiting for certain things where when you can't get them anymore, then it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there might come a time when I absolutely have to do something, but it would still be hard.
But yeah, selling big books is like, yeah, it's like, a lot of people will be like, oh, I had that once. And then they get it back again at some point in their collecting.
Yeah.
And then they'll sell it again and just keep, man, why'd you get in the first place if you're just going to get rid of it?
I mean, the majority of my collection are probably still just $1 and $2 books. I've only got like a few like huge books in the collection now. And the majority of those were just super generous okays from the community. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get those.
Yeah, I don't have
so those are just books that's just going to always be in the collection no matter what. Even if I'm like in a cardboard box under a bridge, I'm still going to have my Amazing Spider-Man 300.
Yeah, have you got that? Have you?
Yeah. That was a gift from Matt, the boy who had 7.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, it's like my New Mutants 98 was a prize tag from 64-page special.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge Deadpool guy, but I'll never get rid of that book because I was so blown away by the gesture, you know what I mean? Like,
that was like an awesome prize tag.
I've already got that book. Save because it was coming from Australia. He was just like, just save and postage, send it to SimpleSimon. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that was epic, man.
Yeah, I didn't even think at the time how much that book is worth. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it actually saw another spike recently, I think, too.
Yeah, but mine's in a Halo case, but
yeah. Well, still, I mean, Halos are super good cases.
That's right.
From what I've seen and heard, it's like way better than even the new CBCS case. I've heard it's more sturdier than those.
I'm going to try to get a bunch so I can have a side for giveaways and stuff like that because I think it's a cool thing to have for people in the community because most people don't have Halo Slab. So my buddy Sean in the chat, he's going to be sending some books to Halo, so he hit me up and I was like, yes. Yeah. So I might send a bunch of books and some that I don't, my doubles and things like that, and I'll just put them aside, giveaways, AOKs, and things like that because I think it's a cool thing to be able to send to you guys.
Yeah, that's cool. What's up, Sharon?
Shazza. Actually, I need to message Sharon. I can see if the postage to Australia has fixed itself yet.
Yeah. I heard things were starting to get like better postage wise.
I think so, but then we're also about to hit Christmas.
Oh yeah, the Christmas rush. Yeah,
It's a bad time of the year to be doing anything. I've got your book sitting on this table. I got something else I'm going to send you, mate, and I bought it for you for last Christmas, and I still got it. I literally got it for you for last Christmas. I didn't get around to sending it, and then this year just flew by.
Yeah,
I still got it.
I know, but I can't believe it's December already, man. It's insane. It feels like.
I moved houses, and I don't even know where those other things are. I've got your books, but there's some other things I bought for you, and I was like, shit, this is a year's.
That's probably better to wait until after Christmas.
Yeah,
I need to get some packages in the mail before too much longer.
I got stuff for Metarog that I've had for well over a year now. Well over a year. But it's we'll get there. I'll get there eventually. So tell me, Russ, since we've still got another 20 minutes, you stopped collecting. Was that when you sold all your books yet? Was that when you stopped collecting?
That was just like crushing to me so much that I just stopped collecting for a while. It kind of broke my spirits a little bit.
Yeah, I think I just got a little bit old and I kind of outgrew things. And I just cared more about, I guess, partying and girls and stuff like that, and not so much into that stuff. But like I said, I always had a lot of friends who, I had friends who were into comic books, I had friends who were into anime and stuff, and it was never my thing, but I always enjoyed, if they were talking about it and stuff, because I always loved art. So but yeah, tell me, how did you get back into it?
Well, I was cleaning up the closet one day, going through some stuff, and I found my my Superman long box in there. So I decided to pull it out and start flipping through it. And as soon as I started flipping through it, man, just that nostalgia hit. And I took out a couple issues and read them. And just like that bug to want to get back collecting just hit me hard. This was around 2015 or so. And I just started hitting flea markets, hitting different places, trying to find the books I used to have.
So that was the first thing you did. You tried to rebuy your old books.
Yeah. Luckily, like I said, like 90% of them were still like $1.
Tell me the story about when you were looking up those books and when you tried to rebuy Giant Size X-Men.
What the first thing I did, like I said, was I started getting like all those dollar books back. And then about a year later, 2016, 2017, somewhere in there, I started looking up the X-Men books I used to have. And a ton of them were just like super cheap still. I re-put back together almost the whole Onslaught storyline. I got all the Age of Apocalypse and stuff now. And I was like scrolling down the list and I saw the Giant Size X-Men price. And my jaw just hit the floor, man. Oh my God. Just like I felt my spirit leave my body. It was so expensive. And that was the moment that I knew I messed up so huge. And now, like back then, I think it was still, I could have got a low grade copy for $700 or $800, which I didn't have that much. The most I had ever spent on a comic at that time was $100, and that made me hyperventilate.
How did you come up with the pricing to sell that lot for $35? Did you not do any research?
No, man. I was young. I had no idea what a key comic was, or even that it was the first appearance of those characters. The only thing I knew about X-Men at the time was just what I saw in the animated series, the TV cartoon.
Yeah, that's fair. So you got back into comics. You started rebuying your old books online, but how about going into comic shops? Did you go into comic shops? And when you did, were you just like, I don't remember how to do this?
Yeah, it's fun. Like, I'm trying to remember. I think right at that time, the New 52 was starting right around that era, and I didn't know what was going on with that, so I just avoided that, and I stuck with like the older back issues from the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
So I pretty much missed the whole New 52 run, and yeah, I didn't start getting into newer books again. Just probably until about 2018. That's when I started back buying like the new comics that were just coming out. And even now, like last week was my heaviest new comic book day week, and it was just six books.
Can you
So
remember the first
I
title?
still
that
like, huh?
Can you remember the first title you jumped on, like with the modern, like with the stuff that was currently sort of coming out at the time?
The first new book I jumped back in was Superman,
Of course.
and
And was this
I
Rebirth
tried out a
then?
few others. No, they hadn't hit Rebirth yet.
Okay, so you were still New 52.
Yeah, I think it was right at the end of the New 52 era when I first got back into the new Superman books.
Wasn't there something really odd about the New 52 Superman? I can't remember.
He was like depowered or something.
Okay. Was that weird for you?
Yeah. I didn't like it, so I quickly got back out of that. And I was like, picked up a book, and I was like, I saw like the Incredible Hulk on the cover, and it was red, and I was like, what is this garbage, man? Why is Hulk red? What happened? And I picked up another comic, and it was like,
how long have I been gone for?
Wolverine was dead, and I was, how is Wolverine dead? So I was so confused when I first got back into new comics. It took a long time to like start liking the new reads.
Okay, so what about now? Because obviously because I came only a few years ago, so it was well into Rebirth by then. So do you remember Rebirth starting?
Yeah, I've got the first like a couple one shots and like one or two issues of the start of those. And honestly,
Batman was good.
Yeah, Batman was good until the wedding.
Which is where I started.
Now, granted, there were a few issues after that I did like. He did a crossover with the Flash. It was a 4-part little crossover he did with the Flash. That was an enjoyable read. I like that.
I need to go back and read the start run. I need to just read the start because what is it? The Mark always talks about the War of Riddles and Roses or something like that. Apparently, it's meant to be very good.
I don't know. I remember the name of that storyline with the Flash was called The Price.
Yeah. So I've got that. So I've got 2 random Flash books in my collection because I had to jump over to the Flash. I hate that. I hate that so much.
Did you ever read the Flashpoint Paradox or Flashpoint storyline?
I read the trade. I read the Flashpoint trade just like a few months ago. So it was good. I liked it. It was confusing, but so you can understand not read Flashpoint how confused I was in Tom King's Batman when Thomas Wayne shows up.
Yeah,
I'm like, what? I was like, what?
That threw me so hard.
Didn't he die in Crime Alley all those years ago?
Because I was just like that random issue of Batman. I can't remember what issue it was now, but they did a tribute cover to 497 where Bane was breaking his back. I did that for a Random Reads episode, and that issue was so bad. I couldn't follow it. I was like, all of a sudden it was Thomas Wayne. Then he like stabbed Damien or something. Like, what is going on in this book, man?
It's weird because the current stuff is like I was enjoying Tynan's run. I don't think I like events. I just don't think they're for me. Because like they're doing the Fear State thing in the moment, and I was enjoying Tynan's run up until Fear State, and I'm just like, what is this stuff? Like, is this?
I don't know. I think they try too hard with the events. They try to spread them out too much, and then they try to do like 100 tie-ins with all the other different books.
Yeah, and I hate how they do that. How they bring like all the other books have to tie. It's like why? Just let this have his story.
They could easily tell it in just like a 6-issue miniseries, I think. But they just spread it out so much, and you have to buy so many books if you
And
want them
that's
all.
why, like, I still haven't read Death Metal because it was so anti what they were doing with all the one shots that were coming out, and I was buying some of them, and they got to a point I was like, whoa. I don't care about half this stuff. I only want to read the main 6 issues. But the crap thing is, it's probably not even going to make sense because you haven't read some of this other stuff.
Yeah. They've always done that with events. Like, especially back in the 90s, I remember they had all these, like, the Onslaught storyline with X-Men eventually crossed over to the whole Marvel Universe. They had all these tie-ins. That was so hard to put those issues back together.
Well, I know your blood's going to boil when I mention this title, but was Heroes in Crisis an event?
Yeah. I can't remember if it had any tie-ins or not, but I think it had 12. It was either 9 or 12 issues total.
It was just, but there was no tie-ins. It was just one straight story.
Yeah, I don't remember them having any tie-ins for Heroes in Crisis.
And the thing was, right, like I was reading it and I was enjoying it because I was just kind of like, where is this going? Like,
yeah.
So, but then I got to the end, I was like, what? What happened?
I didn't. After I found out what they did with the Wally West Flash, I didn't read anymore. I only read the first issue, and I never bought any more in the series. I was going to wait till they all came out to read them at once, and then I found out what they were doing with like the legacy characters and Wally West Flash, and that just made me so mad.
The thing that kind of pissed me off about it was in the start of the story, it's got a lot to do with the Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Yeah. And after like the second or third issue, they don't appear in the story again until the end.
Really?
It's like, I don't know. It was just, I didn't hate it, but I can understand why you long-time comic book people don't like it.
So I was a huge fan of Wally West as Flash because Wally West was the Flash when I started reading his comics back in the 90s. I didn't get to know the Barry Allen Flash till like years and years later when I started reading the older comics and the newer ones. So Wally West was like my Flash. That was like the one I grew up with. And then they tried to turn him into like a serial killer. Like, what are you doing?
It's funny because everyone says that. Everyone always says, I grew up to Wally West was the Flash that I grew up to. Yeah. But see, to me, the Flash that I grew up with was I'm guessing is Barry Allen, because the Flash that I knew was from the TV series back in like the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Flash that I knew.
John Wesley Shipp, yeah.
Is that Barry Allen?
Yeah, he played Barry Allen in the 90s TV show, which I think only lasted 1 or 2 seasons, maybe. Didn't last long.
I thought that was a cool show back then.
I liked it.
So yeah, just because I guess when I got back into comics was again because I found that small stash of books that survived my parents' comic book giveaway. So I reread Death of the Family, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I think I want to get into this." But it was so scary walking to a shop. I was just like, I don't know. I had a bunch of friends who I work with. They was like, "Oh, we're into comics. We'll take you to the city. We'll go to all the shops." And I still didn't know. I was like looking at this new release wall, like, man, there's no issue 1s. It's like, where do I start? So yeah, the first day I bought some trades, and then the next week I think I went by myself, and I ended up buying that. Like, the Batman issue 50 made sense. I was just like, oh, it's the 50th issue. It's a wedding. That could be a good place to jump on Batman. And then Catwoman issue 1 happened to come out that week, and I was like, oh, there's an issue 1. So, but it was still scary.
I like the Catwoman run.
Yeah, I like the start of it. Ram V's jumped off that now as well.
Really? I didn't keep up with it. I only got the first. I think I have the first 4 issues of Catwoman.
But when I was in a shop, man, I did not want anyone to approach me or talk to me because I was so scared they would start talking comic Yeah, talking. I'm like, I don't know. What
Like, I don't know anything.
Who are the Green Lanterns? Like, that's why Mark is like the he's the like, so most comic shop staff here, I find, they normally don't talk to you. It's there's not many shops down here. Like, they will talk to you if you talk to them. If you start talking comic books with them, they can get right into it, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the stores you go into, they just kind of leave you alone. Which I think probably suits most comic book nerds anyway, right? But Mark, because he used to work for the same company I work for, so he understands customer service. So as soon as he notices someone new coming to the shop, he's all over him. You know, he always asks, "Hey, do you need any help?" Da 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 da. And most of the time, people are going, "No, leave me alone." I just want to look. But he's always like, "Oh, it's cool. You know, if there's anything else, if you need any recommendations, anything, just let me know." But he'll always come back around and annoy him again the second time, you know. He's like, well, what do you read? What are you into? You know, stuff like that to get that conversation going. So Mark understands that, and I think that helps him a lot. Because, yeah, when he first approached me, I was just like, just leave me alone, dude. I don't want to talk to you. And then, because I used to spend my day off and go to multiple shops. And I started going in to see Mark because he was the only shop that released the new releases during the day. I think I've told you before. Here, for some reason, all the other shops they wouldn't put them on shelf until 4 p.m. because it matches up with your time or something like that. Yeah. It didn't make sense at all, really. But he's like, but Mark would put them on shelf as soon as he opened. So I used to go there to get new releases, and he'd always try to get me on a pull list and all that. I was like, man, just stop talking to me, dude. Just leave me alone. Let me just do my thing. So yeah, and then I don't even know how we became such good friends, but I think because he found out that I work where I work, so you know we had that sort of connection that we work sort of at the same place.
Yeah.
So and then eventually he, I think he must have found out at my YouTube videos, and he was like, he offered me to use his shop, and I think that was still early days, so I was a little bit hesitant to hit him up about it. But then when he closed his first shop because the rent was too expensive, he was and I was about to start filming at his shop. His first shop looked fantastic. Like, it looked like, you know, those professional YouTuber sets?
Yeah.
It looked like that. Because now it's a little bit more warehousey, the type of look. But so after Mark sold his shop, he basically didn't have a shop to work in. So he basically moved all his stuff into a storage unit, and he ran his business out of the storage unit until he found a place. So this was maybe 3-4 months, I reckon. He didn't have a shop, and his loyal customers would come to this bloody storage unit facility. We'd call him. He'd come out from the back in his car. He'd pick you up and then drive you into this storage facility. And we'd all jump into this little garage-sized storage unit, and he had his shop set up in there. But it was really cool, man, because sometimes you'd be out there, you'd see like another like person or two, and you're like, I bet that guy's waiting for Mark as well. So Mark would sometimes come in, he'd pick up like 3 of us at the front, drive us into the storage unit, and then we would just hang out there and talk nerd stuff for like over an hour and stuff like that, you know? Like sometimes you're like, man, I got to go, but I can't get out of this conversation that we're all having. So it was actually
cool, man.
Fun time to look back on. And then, I think we became pretty good friends from that during that time as well. So after that, we were able to do the shop thing. But
that's pretty cool. It almost sounds like the beginning of a horror movie. He drove me to a storage facility. And then that was it.
That was really cool times, man, during that time. Yeah. Oh, mate, we did it. We hit an hour.
Nice. Time flies, man. Like all this nostalgic memories and stuff.
Yeah, I think we got to keep coming up with nostalgic ones, I think, because we're pretty old now, so we've got a lot to talk about.
It kills me when I hear somebody say the 90s or even the early 2000s was retro. I'm like, shut up, man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That was yesterday. What are you talking about? It's retro.
The 90s feels like a long time ago, but the early 2000s and stuff, it really does not feel that long ago.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy to think, I finished high school like over 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. it like makes me feel so old, like to think about it. Like next month, it's going to be 2022. That just sounds like futuristic, man. Where's
Yeah,
my
man,
freaking hoverboard and jetpack at? Where's it
yeah, I
at?
know, right? Where are the flying cars at? Mate, next year's gonna be I might do a birthday stream. I normally hide on my birthday, so
Yeah.
every time the last like 5 years probably, or even more, on my birthday, I take time off from work and I disappear on my birthday. I don't want anyone to talk to me. I just like leave me alone. I just want to be old. But next year's a milestone, so I might do a birthday stream next year.
It's fun doing those streams, man. Like, not last year, but the year before last, Matt, the boy who had 7, got a bunch of people together and they did a birthday stream for me, and that was like awesome, man.
That's cool.
That meant a lot to me.
I was at work on that one, but I think I jumped in the chat quickly.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. All right, mate. Let's wrap it up. What you got? You got any content coming?
I really don't know, man. I do have a giveaway going on right now.
Nope, don't bring it up. don't you bring that up on the
screen. I do have a giveaway going on right now. That's not the last video, but the video before last. All you got to do to enter is sub 3 channels in the description, and obviously sub up to me if you're not already. And the prize is a CGC 9.8 Amazing Spider-Man 7.99 Virgin variant cover.
Giving away slabs now.
Yeah, and if an international viewer wins, the prize is a $50 PayPal for them. Because I've heard shipping internationally is kind of a nightmare, and probably more expensive than the $50 PayPal would be.
Whoa, actually, yeah, I was discussing that with someone. I was like, well, it depends. Like when I buy a book if I buy a slab from eBay, it's about anywhere from 30 to 50 probably to send it. So about the same.
Yeah, it'd probably like work out to about the same, I guess.
Right now, you probably don't want to send to Australia if we're still in that. I don't know if we're still in that mess, but it was pretty bad for a while.
But the contest is going until December 31st. And if I hit my goal of 1,200 and the other channels linked in the description meet the goals I set for them, I'll do the drawing on January 1st. But I'm looking to hit a goal of 1,200 subs by the end of the year, which I'm still 185 away. So I don't know.
That's a lot.
But
you've only 1 month. What are you doing, Russ? That's a lot.
I know that's a lot trying to get 185, but that would just be like a huge milestone for the end of the year.
Nice.
But if I don't hit the goal, I'll still do the giveaway, but it'll be on a smaller scale.
Nice.
So it'll be a giveaway, but it'll be I don't know, a Vicks vapor inhaler.
Used by Super Russ.
Yes, it is used.
All right, I've got a vlog. So I did a vlog with Captain Sari yesterday. We went to some toy shops. So if you like those toy shop tours, it's a good one. We went to 2 of the biggest toy stores we got here, like collectible stores, not toy stores.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got that one coming. It'll probably be out on the weekend. And no episode of the Noob this week because Mark was late yesterday, so he didn't have time to film. But yeah, I've always got stuff going on. So yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone, and thanks for hanging out in the chat.
Yeah, I noticed your videos with Sarah seem to be doing like better, man.
So you do, you put a girl in the video and they get clicks. So it's a winning formula. And,
we're gonna have to get her on Simply. We're gonna have to get her on Simply Superman. See if we can't boost the viewership.
If you want to feel really old, we'll get Sarah. But you should see the. You know how Bearded does the series with his missus.
Yeah, the name that character.
Yeah. I'm gonna do an episode like that, an homage for those guys, with Sarah. I've named that celebrity. You will be shocked for the people she is. One time we said Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, she was on a stream with Sanimation, and she said something about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Sarah said, "Who's that?"
Oh my god!
And Sanimation was like, "What?" And then she's like, "Oh wait, is that the Get to the Chopper guy?" That was her thing. Is that the Get to the Chopper guy?
Maybe we shouldn't have her on the show then. I don't need to feel any older.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up, mate. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out today. We appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with another cool topic.
Yep.
Hopefully
we'll figure out something else to rip off. What we were talking about earlier. Lame
we're
or
gonna
picture
do lame
frame.
or picture frame.
Yeah. Peace, everybody.
See you guys.